Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nick Cage Fight podcast, where we review, summarize, and provide commentary on every single Nick Cage movie, even the depressing ones that got our boy an Oscar nod. But still, I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by Rich and Ryan. How are we feeling?
A bit forlorn that Nick Cage didn't get an Oscar nod this year. I don't even know what he would have gotten it for, but like the Oscars just happened,
Dream
so I had to
scenario.
comment on it. Definitely just dream scenario, yeah.
Um, can we just turn this into a Daily Show podcast? And if you're a
No.
Patreon, you'll get that joke.
I can't do it. If we did the Daily Show, I'm not gonna lie. If we went back, there's probably some real bangers from the Bush era. But I feel like if we were gonna do it for real, we'd have to do it like the West Wing podcast breakdown, the West Wing thing. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
Oh, I would
No, I
do a
have
West
not.
Wing podcast and just except for I would do instead of that, I would do the newsroom
Okay.
because, like, the West
Wait,
Wing
was
is
that
already being
Sorkin
done.
too?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And but then also we can do the one good Steve Jobs movie.
I don't.
Which one's that?
Yeah, is there a
It's
good
just
Steve
called
Jobs
Steve
movie?
Jobs. Michael Fassbender plays Steve
I was
Jobs.
gonna ask, it was the
Oh,
Fassbender one.
I didn't
And
watch that.
he
I don't
plays
have that
he
much
plays
interest in it.
Steve Jobs so menacingly, it's amazing. Like, I just watched it because they were doing it behind the bastards on Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, this movie's like better." And I watch it. I'm just like, "All right, Seth Rogen is Steve Wozniak absolutely fucks."
You know what? Maybe that'll be our next moonshot. I'll just try and DM Robert Evans and see, and see if he wants to do an episode with us. We have to find a real monster that's done a movie
So,
or acted in a movie.
Oh,
a
I've
friend of
got the
mine-
man. The guy that directed Jeepers Creepers is the biggest fucking monster.
No. I know that, but we need a
Yeah.
Nick Cage one. Was
Oh, a
Cage
Nick
in any
Cage one.
Polanski films or?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But no, but
No.
a friend of mine got Garrison on their podcast.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
Did he ask him why he fucking labels every single thing in his comics? Was
no,
he
not Ben Garrison.
Not Ben
Garrison
Garrison.
from Behind the Bastards. The
Oh,
one who does It Could
okay.
Happen Here.
I was
Fuck Ben
I thought
Garrison.
that you one of your friends tricked Ben Garrison into talking about how unfucking confident he is in his own art that he has to label everything.
Dude,
Oh, that,
you know
that
what?
would be great.
I'm not gonna lie. I obsessively followed Ben Garrison's output for a while there, and I came to the determination that you could tell when Garrison was depressed when he didn't label everything in a comic.
That's so sad.
You could tell when he was really going through shit because he just wouldn't label shit. And you're just like, there's a clear through line here. It's your brand, dude. What are you doing? He's like just not feeling it that day.
The guy they got for the Onion that just does the Ben Garrison parodies is my favorite cartoonist working right now.
I am sad we're not living in a world where Rich's friend tricked Ben Garrison into giving
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have listened. We would have stopped recording, and I would have
Yeah,
just
I would
gone and
have
listened
needed
to
to hear that immediately.
Yeah, unfortunately we're here. Not unfortunately, it's a good movie. It's just a sad movie. And it gets sadder in the second half for sure. That movie, of course, being Leaving Las Vegas. And where we last left off, Sarah has just turned down an offer of prime rib from Ben to head back to the hotel room where Yuri is waiting. And Yuri is acting fucking bonkers. He is he takes Sarah's head and presses it against a wall and asks her if she hears anything. He's like, they're talking about me. He seems to be just losing his shit kind of in general. Sarah's trying to say, like, look at how much money I made, and he's like, does not seem to care about this at all. She asks if he's all right, and he tells her to get out and not come back. He won't see her again. So as she leaves, she passes some gangster-looking dudes walking towards Yuri's room, and as soon as she's out of sight, one of them pulls a pistol, and then we cut to Ben's little motel room where there's a knock on the door, and it's Sarah.
Goodbye, Yuri.
Yep. And that's it. That's fucking it for Yuri. I thought there was going to be some conflict between him and Ben, but it was just like another weird footnote in the overall story that we're seeing.
Right, and that's another reason why I do think that it's being told in a therapy session because it doesn't matter. It didn't happen to her. It was he told me to leave and I never saw him again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that showing the gangster with the gun was to, because audiences are dumb, they have to be told everything. So
yeah, otherwise they're going to be complaining about whether or not Tony Soprano died fucking 20 years later.
All right,
right.
I'm gonna get back on my theory bullshit. It's not a therapist. It's somebody researching a role, and this person
you think
is
it's a real Elizabeth Shue asking fictional Elizabeth Shue?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that person is adding in detail, like, that's the last time I saw Yuri. Never saw him again. He's like, oh, those people you passed in the fucking hallway, they had a gun. They killed him. That's what happened to Yuri. You're just like filling in the blanks as you're interviewing a person.
Meanwhile, all I was thinking of is whenever Yuri's not on screen, everybody else should be asking,
Where's Yuri?
No,
Yuri died on his way back to his home country.
his home country. That very solid. I like that. So yeah, Sarah shows up at Ben's motel room and asks if he still wants to have dinner. So they go to a restaurant and have spaghetti. I don't know why I included that it was spaghetti in my notes, but it was
because he looked at it
and it was enjoyable.
He looked at it and was just like, it was the first time Nick Cage has ever seen spaghetti.
It's because spaghetti is an objectively funny thing for a dying alcoholic to be eating.
That's fair. It's more of
a single spaghetti is really funny.
It's more of a functional alcoholic dinner.
Yeah. Like he's gonna get fucking sauce all over his face.
Sauced while being sauced. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
So Sarah asks Ben why he's a drunk. And Ben says that if she's asking questions like that, that makes this a date, which Sarah confirms. It's their first date.
Well, what he actually says is when she asks that question, he says, "Oh wow, I wasn't sure, and I'm still not sure if this is our first date or our last date."
Yeah, that's right.
And then she says, "First date."
So he goes on to explain he doesn't remember why he wants to kill himself. He just knows that he wants to, which is that's a pretty decent representation of depression, I would say. He does do a cool matchbook trick here. It's the thing where you fold it over and flick it, right?
Yeah, it's the one that totally blows the mind of the like 22-year-old I work with every time he asks me to do it. He brings in fucking books of matches so I can do that. I don't know why he wants to waste all his matches. Like,
who uses matches?
Who uses matches other than people that smoke cigars? I don't think he smokes cigars.
And also cigars, like, don't you need like not matchbook matches? Like, you need
wood
legitimate matches. Yeah.
To smoke those 3 Macanudos.
Yeah.
I'm not smooth Macanudos.
Sorry, to reference something we don't normally reference. My buddy Larry, we used to always say he was like Bender. It was like, why do you drink all that booze, Larry? It's like, oh, well, that's what my body runs on. This will keep me going. I was like, okay, what are the cigars for? Well, those make me look cool.
We love you, Larry Bear.
So after dinner, Sarah invites Ben to stay at her place for the night, and Ben accepts after a little bit of protesting. So the next morning, Sarah asks Ben to get his stuff from the motel and come and stay with her while he's doing his thing, which is drinking himself to death.
Is killing himself. Yes.
Yes. So Ben tries to talk her out of it, and he's like, look, I know this seems fun right now, but like eventually I'm gonna be like shitting myself and making an absolute mess. Like it's gonna get bad. And she's like, no, 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 no. Come on, let's do this. So he agrees with a single caveat. And that caveat is she can never ask him to stop drinking. She says she understands, and then they kiss. And then we see Ben packing his suitcase, uh, full of liquor and clothes from the motel while drinking an entire glass of what I think is just straight tequila.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
understand how people drink tequila to begin with, to
he
just
doesn't
raw
care
dog it like that.
as long as it gets him drunk.
All right. So about tequila, in defense of tequila, good tequila, if you do it like a tequila shot with the salt and the lime, is fine. Really good tequila, you can sip. Um,
I guess I've never
Conversely,
had really good or even good tequila.
I actually have an absurdly expensive bottle of tequila that I keep on hand for when a family friend with absurdly expensive taste in tequila visits.
Let me guess. As a restaurant worker, I'm guessing this is a Don Julio.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Hey, Mazel tov.
there
Good
you go.
job.
Yeah, I have some, and I'll have to bring you over and you can take a sip.
Okay,
You
I
can
am
have a
curious.
fucking glass if you want. I don't care. I have too much of it, and I'm not really a tequila drinker. But the point I was going to make is conversely, the only other time I've drank tequila straight, not as a shot, just out of like a cup. Now, granted, in this case, it was a Dixie cup. Uh, and it bothers me to this day. I do not remember the brand or anything else about it. One time in my very early 20s, I went to Six Flags with a bunch of degenerates. And one of the degenerates had done this enough times who was like, there is a liquor store, like maybe a mile out from this Six Flags that has super cheap tequila. We'll get the bottle. We have like six people. We'll kill the bottle, go in, ride roller coasters. And I was like, that sounds like a bad idea. But the tequila they got, that again, we killed the bottle drinking out of the wax covered paper Dixie cups,
Yeah, yeah.
tasted like water after the first one.
Oh my God.
You get the first
That
one
sure as shit
down.
wasn't Cuervo.
No, you get the first. It was not any brand you could name off the top of your head. I fucking promise you. Um, and yeah, no. We demolished that bottle quicker than I've ever drank hard liquor before. And amazingly, nobody threw up on roller coasters. One of our friends
Miracle.
almost got kicked out, but that's because he was trying to scam a free soda out of the food court area,
Hmm.
which was weird. He was
Did he
just
find one of the cups and ask for his free refill?
no, it was better than he was just trying to grift all day, which was insane to me. I was like, why are you doing that? We're not even trying to spend like a lot of money. And he's like, no, this is a great idea. Like he grabbed an empty, like regular soda cup, like paper soda cup off of a table, and then is like, splash some of your soda on me, like on my t-shirt to me. And I was like, fucking why? What are you talking about? And he's like, no, I'm gonna go up to the counter and say some little shit like ran by me right after I bought my soda and spilled it, like all over me and ask for a free soda. I was like, a soda's like $2 fucking. Are you serious? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right. Um,
All right.
all right. I don't think those people are paid enough to deal with that kind of level of
I would have just given him a soda.
Of
yeah,
tomfoolery.
Like
yeah.
Six Flags probably pays like 7 cents per can per like soda that they sell.
Oh, come on, it's not that
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, I was gonna
So it's
say
like
probably
two
way less
cents.
than that.
Yeah.
So, I do love this next bit. After we get the scene of Ben packing, Sarah comes home. So she lives in like a condo complex, and it's not a gated community, but it has a gate,
Yeah.
like a tiny gate. And when she gets home, Ben is like passed out on top of his piece of luggage right in front of the gate. And there are two neighbors who seem very concerned with this grown man passed out. And I think he has a fucking Jack Daniels bottle in his hand.
He might just.
And Sarah shows up and he's like, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's a friend of mine. I think he had too much to drink." And like the neighbors are like, "That's okay, we're just being safe, blah blah blah." And she's like, "No, I've got it. It's okay." And she gets him inside, and Ben insists on paying her rent for this month and confesses that he is in love with her. Um, he then lays out that he completely understands both of them and their situations, and he accepts that, which, spoiler alert, is not quite true. And that's actually, I do like that mirror from both of them. Both of them are like, I get you, I accept you, and I'm lying about that.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty interesting dynamic in the film. You know what else is interesting? Kirkland brand rum, the only rum that doubles as sunscreen. So listen to this ad for Kirkland brand rum.
We got to get them Kirkland dollars.
We gotta get the
I'm
Kirkland
trying
dollars.
so fucking hard, man. And we're back.
Kirkland brand rum. Delouse yourself in a bath of it.
I like this bit.
Me
don't-
too, actually.
I don't know if it's gonna secure us a Kirkland sponsorship, but I'll keep fucking trying. Kirkland brand rum.
Brand rum now available as paint thinner.
It wasn't before.
Kirkland brand rum. Feel robbed that you missed out on the ethanol craze? We've got the product for you.
Look, for a product I actually endorse, this is kind of a good bit.
Excuse me. God damn.
All right, let's get back to talking about this man who is drinking himself.
I know.
to
I'm giving
literal
myself the
death.
Kirkland coughs right now. So uh so Sarah comes back to her condo and she has gotten some presents for Ben. The first one is a burnt orange button down dress shirt, which he jokes about like he had to leave some of his clothes because he couldn't fit them in with all the liquor bottles he had to bring with him.
Well, he's got priorities. I mean,
Yeah, of course. And the second one is a really nice flask. It's a silver like beaten metal flask. You know, the dimpled metal look.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that flask. That's a nice looking flask. Um and this actually like almost makes Ben like tear up a bit. And it's he specifically says he's with the right girl. Um And then I have this line, and I don't remember what the context was at this point because I know he specifically talked about paying her rent in the previous scene, but Nick Cage says the line, "Giving you money makes me want to come." So just wanted to throw that out there, maybe as a soundboard entry.
Yeah. Use it
Um,
before every ad break.
Yo, yeah. Before every Patreon pitch, man. Like that's
Yeah.
we gotta
Yeah.
get the Cage pay pigs. That's what we need.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think we're degrading enough to our listenership for that. I don't know.
you got to go to the
So
Nick Cage fight OnlyFans for that.
so they go out gambling. Um Ben aggressively makes out with Sarah by a slot machine, and she tells him she loves him in this scene. So shortly after his confession of love for her. They seem to be having a good time gambling. But Ben gets shit faced and has a meltdown at a blackjack table when the cocktail waitress says she can't bring him a Bloody Mary. He gets dragged out of the casino by security while he's screaming about being able to be trusted, because I'm his father. This is where we know like his wife and kid left. And he explicitly states at some point that he's not sure if he started drinking because they left or they left because he was drinking. But this is one of those ones where it's like it's because you were drinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. So he wakes up in the middle of the night at Sarah's from a nightmare and immediately starts guzzling vodka and orange juice.
And it's
Um
just the sweatiest mess.
oh
Like,
yeah.
if
Yeah.
you've ever had that alcoholic uncle, you know this face.
That's crazy. This man is in the fucking throes of it. Um so this ends up waking up Sarah. And he goes and gets into bed with her where he shakes and she holds him. And Ben asks how their evening went because he doesn't remember everything. And Sarah explains that she managed to get security not to like throw him out on the sidewalk by telling them he was an alcoholic, and that she was going to take him home and they would never ever come back. So Ben is a bit taken by her referring to them like together as a unit, like she wouldn't go back either. Um, and Sarah explains, "Oh, I'm just using you because I need you." But she also mentions that she needs to go to work that evening. Um, so Ben goes to a bar and starts drinking where there is a couple fight. Wait a minute. We didn't call out this actress from this scene in
I don't think we
housekeeping.
did, no.
And we should have, although her name is escaping me right now.
Let me see if I can find her real quick.
Yeah, this
Is
is
it
gonna
Biker
bother me.
Girl? Is it Shawnee Smith?
Is that who it is?
I'm
Sorry, I'm
pretty
trying to
sure it's
find it too
Shawnee
now.
Smith.
I think you're right on that. Because this is the bar with Julian Lennon, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, it's
it
got to be the
is.
biker girl then.
Oh, you know who the fuck else we didn't call out? I'll call out when we get to her. But there is another very famous person we didn't call out, and it 100% is Shawnee Smith. Um, Primarily known from the Saw movies.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
about to
she
say,
was in the
isn't
Blob.
She was in the Blob.
I love that Blob movie. It's really
I'm about to
good.
say, isn't in the Saw movies, isn't she like the new Jigsaw?
She become was spoiler alert, dude.
It's
Uh,
fucking Saw. It's been out for 20 years.
um, so anyway, yeah. At this bar, Shawnee Smith is fighting with her boyfriend, so she tries to use Ben to make the boyfriend jealous, which works, and Cage fucking kills it in this scene. This is him doing the charismatic drunken Ben, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything he says in this is funny or smooth or both. And it still doesn't end well for him. He gets head-butted in the face by the angry boyfriend, and the girlfriend leaves with the boyfriend because that was her goal all along, just to get some attention from him. Um, and unfortunately, that this gets Ben ejected from the bar. So he goes back to Sarah's and he's covered in a fair bit of blood. Sarah then makes out with his bloody face. And then he gets cleaned up and they go shopping.
Yeah, like they're just like good.
Yeah. No, like I was like trying to think of how to frame it, but like this is the whole misery loves company thing. And also along with what Ryan said, Sarah enables the fuck out of Ben's
Yeah.
bad behavior. Like that should have that should have been a like you shouldn't do this shit type scenario, but she just seems kind of turned on by it, which does not seem ideal.
No, no.
So
Not at
they
all.
get they get cleaned up and go out shopping, and while they're at the food court, Ben reveals that he got Sarah earrings as a gift. Um this is like a semi-sweet moment for them, but it goes south really quickly when Ben mentions about her planning on working that evening and wearing one of the earrings to remind her of him when she has her face pressed into a pillow. It's pretty fucking crude. Um, so Ben recognizes the moment slipping, and so he goes to walk away, and Sarah tries to get him to stop. And it's pretty clear at this point that several factors are in play here. One, that both of them would prefer that the other one stops doing what they perceive as something self-destructive, or what makes them jealous, and gives sort of face to the lie that they're telling each other, that they understand each other and accept each other. But it's clearly becoming a problem.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, like it was always going to be a problem. Like she's sitting here telling him that she loves him and he is actively killing himself.
Yeah, and he's telling her he loves her and she is continuing sex work. Um,
Well, I mean, that's just work.
Yeah,
well,
it's just labor. You're always selling your body regardless of your career choice.
yeah, I'm not making a commentary on sex work. I'm making a commentary on both of them being like, I get your deal and I accept it, and both of them fucking lying to each other and themselves, really, if we're
Yeah.
getting right down to it. So, clearly they both have a problem with what the other one is doing with their lives. Um, so to kind of smooth this situation over, because it still is tense, Sarah suggests that they get away for a few places to for a few places for a few days to this place she knows in the desert. Which I got to admit, a fucking weirdo motel in the desert sounds kind of fun.
Yeah,
And
it
the
Yeah.
place that
does.
they end up looks kind of fun. So we get to see them reclining by a pool at this desert motel. And they have like they've dragged out the tube TV on like a little rolly cart to the pool, like outside the room, which is kind of neat. There is a great scene where Cage has a beer in his hand and he pops his thumb in the neck of the bottle and just knife drops into the pool, sinks to the bottom, and just starts chugging the
Yeah,
beer
that is a
Yeah.
cool
underwater.
shot.
Which reminded me of the fucking internet post where somebody was in an argument with their DM as to whether or not you could drink a potion underwater. So they took a
Oh,
bottle of
yes.
wine out to the pool to prove that they could do it.
I've I think that might be an apocryphal story because I've also heard a similar story of someone arguing about like an ability to shoot between two people with a bow and arrow and it ends up with two people in the hospital.
All right, so this is just because this is incredibly ironic. This is the second time today somebody suggested that an anecdotal story I had heard was apocryphal. So I got to bring it up. So somebody mentioned that they bought online bought a bunch of or a literal bunch of
A
and I'm going to
bushel, a
mispronounce this.
peck.
Gross Michelle bananas.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so if you're not familiar, this was the supermarket banana for our parents. Our parents. So for some of our listeners, your parents' parents. But a fungal infection wiped out the commercial produced strain of this bananas. And so the bananas we have today are known as Cavendish bananas. So I had heard throughout the years, because I found the story kind of fascinating because it could happen to Cavendishes too, by the way. Fungal
Yeah.
infections, no joke for banana crops. But I had heard that the banana flavor for candy was based on that original strain, and
Yeah,
that's why
that's
it
what I've heard
seems
as well.
so artificial. But apparently, this person who has had the previous strain was they're sweeter than Cavendish's, but that story might be apocryphal. So the fact that I've just been told that's one of my anecdotes might be apocryphal twice today, I had to comment on it.
Yeah, you gotta.
It
Yeah.
doesn't happen twice in a day.
No.
Once every few months, maybe, but twice in one day? What's going on?
That's a lot.
It
That's a
is.
lot.
It's kind of a lot. So,
I mean, at
anyway,
that point, it's like almost folk knowledge about the bananas because I've heard that rehashed by everyone.
I know, and I'm a person who loves stupid anecdotal factoids. So learning that one is likely an exaggeration is a bummer for me. But I
Yeah.
do like being
I
more
mean, I have a couple that I know are false that I'll just keep putting out there because,
ooh,
like, if the world is more interesting with that fake information than with the real version. I can't remember one off the top of my head, but I know there are
oh,
a couple. I'll let you know if one pops in there, though.
all right, just hit the group chat with them
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I love that shit. So we're at this desert motel. Cage has just drank a beer at the bottom of a pool, which is just a great scene in general and the way it's shot. Sarah swims down and kisses him, and then we get one of the horniest scenes in the entire film. Um, they get out of the pool, and Sarah start like Ben is just drinking straight hard liquor out of a bottle, and Sarah takes it from him, straddles him, and starts pouring liquor on herself and kissing Ben. She pulls down the top of her bathing suit and continues to pour liquor on her chest, with Ben licking it off. Um, and then they go inside because things are getting hot and heavy. If you can't picture it, but but unfortunately, Ben is too drunk, stumbles, and falls through a glass table by the pool.
Hey, this ties it in with the fucking Patreon episode we did last week.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You want to see somebody go through a glass table? Watch some wrestling
Or leaving Las
or leaving
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I'm assuming the wrestling one had some more interesting predicating factors than just
Nope,
being
just a
really
dude
drunk.
No,
going.
it's just a
Nope.
dude going straight through some fucking sugar glass. His back was all fucked up too.
Oof. So, this spoils the mood, but Ben is drunk and laughing at the entire situation. He limps off again with his back bleeding just through his shirt and shit. Um, and Sarah works to help clean up the glass as a worker comes over, and Sarah's doing her like apologetic thing. Is like, I'm so sorry, he's clumsy. And the worker is like, yeah, you guys are fucking out of here tomorrow and don't come back. We don't need people like you around here. And then the next day we see her and Ben driving home, her driving, and Ben being basically passed out in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So, Ben wakes up in Sarah's bed, sweaty and shaking. Sarah's in the kitchen cooking. But Ben just grabs two bottles of vodka and stumbles back to the bedroom, where he gets into a shower and then drinks two bottles of vodka while in the shower. Now listen,
Well, he's not fucking around.
He's
I'm
not
not
fucking
look,
around.
I'm
He
not
might be
judging.
shitting in that shower though.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not judging. I'll admit I've enjoyed a shower beer here and there. If you've never had one, I highly
Oh, it's
recommend it.
so good. It's got to be an ice cold beer though.
Ice cold,
Hot
ice
shower.
cold, hot shower beer. It's solid. It's a good thing. I have never fucking guzzled Opah vodka in a shower though. That seems
No.
like a bad fucking time.
I have had whiskey in the shower.
What kind of whiskey?
The cheap shit, the shit that you buy just
To
to get
drink in
you
the shower.
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, what am I
Rock
gonna
gut.
bring in? Am I gonna bring an 18-year scotch into a shower with me? It sounds
Excuse me,
terrible.
sir. What whiskey do you recommend for drinking in the shower?
No,
I'm sorry.
at that point, it was just where is your cheapest whiskey?
Ah,
Or no, I actually said
what's
where
an
is your
old
cheapest?
granddad?
It was not Old Granddad. Oh, I actually like Old Granddad.
Hey,
Do you?
hey,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
fuck with that.
I won't,
Oh,
I won't accept old grand. Look, I use bonded old granddad in some of my batch cocktail shit.
okay.
Yeah, I
I
do
mean,
like
on
Old
its
Granddad.
own, no thank
No,
you.
so what I
No,
honestly said was, what is the cheapest liquor you have? And surprisingly, it was not Mad Dog.
Uh, well, Mad
Um,
Dog is it's a malt liquor, so I don't think they would have handed that off to you. If it's got bubbles in it, they don't consider it regular
but
liquor.
it was a bottle of liquor roughly
Or
the
no, Mad
size.
Mad Dog's the fucking it's like a wine cooler, I think is what
Yeah,
it technically is.
but it was roughly the size of like a Mad Dog, just full of whiskey. And it was 2.99.
Jesus
Jesus
Christ, dude.
Christ!
That's
Where? That's
no, yeah.
disgusting.
You
Where?
you got paint thinner. You got paint thinner with caramel dye in it. Jesus fucking
This
Christ.
stomach's
That's
never gonna get right.
insane. Mad Dog, strawberry flavored Sterno.
Good.
Uh,
Listen,
Mad Dog sponsor
at
us.
some point through this podcast, you guys are making an announcement. Rich went out the Nick Cage way. He drunk himself to death.
No.
No, 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 no. No, we'll see that coming, clearly. I mean, we've just done the research on it.
True.
So, goddamn. So yeah, Ben is drinking bottles of vodka in the shower. And when he sits down to eat, Sarah floats the idea that she wants him to see a doctor. Now, it's not explicitly called out in this scene, but she's wearing both of the earrings that he got her. Ben thinks this is the moment that he warned her about, that this is getting too real for her. And he suggests moving back to a motel room, which really upsets her. But she has to go to work. So we get to see Sarah getting ready for work as Ben plays craps. And we get some wild shots of Vegas and Ben flashing back on some of the shit that we've seen so far. And then this is where we get a person that we rightly should have called out in housekeeping. Because while Ben is playing craps, another working lady sees the opportunity to, uh, uh, land a customer, and so walks over and starts hitting on him, lurking by him, trying to seal the deal. And this is fucking Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah, I
Huh.
did see
Haggerty,
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we also missed Laurie Metcalf, which was one of the neighbors earlier.
Oh fuck.
And
God
also,
damn.
there was a fucking Twin Peaks connection too, because the other neighbor played one of the woodsmen in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
I usually am pretty good at catching the Twin Peaks references for you, Ryan. I apologize for my
It's all
lapse
good.
in both judgment and research. Um, but yeah, Mariska is is trying to lure Ben into a situation. So this of course makes Ben think about Sarah. We cut to Sarah arriving back home at her condo where Ben is with Mariska in her bed. This is an oof moment. This
Yep.
is not ideal. Uh she sees Sarah and then gets up and leaves. Sarah tells Ben to get out and starts crying. So this I view as a bit of Ben specific, like trying to do that thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna just force this person away so I can go back about my self-destructive tendencies and spare them witnessing it. But then again, he was shit-faced when he did it, so maybe that's giving him way too much credit. Who knows? And then here we get to I'll give a full on content warning here.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah, we
say,
probably should have thrown one of those up at the beginning of the episode, but content warning, content warning, content
This,
warning.
yeah, this is a big one. This is we have a scene that is
yeah, I'm going to be putting just content warning when we upload the episode of just like,
yeah.
this
Absolutely,
is
yeah.
leaving Las Vegas. You need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, to be fair, you're absolutely right. We should have done it up front because there's a fair amount of violence and abuse. But this is just a full-on sexual assault content warning here, and it's one of the more violent depictions I've seen in a film. And we'll get into again if it's something that you can listen to without having too much trouble with. We'll get into comparisons with other popular films. So we see Sarah walking down the street and being approached by a couple of guys in like football jerseys. These are like jock types.
Yeah, like
Um,
jock frat boys,
yeah.
it's very clear.
So they proposition her, and she shows up. Like it takes a little bit of convincing, but she's like, okay. And she shows up at their hotel room where they're videotaping themselves and listening to loud music. And so it's framed initially as these guys are paying for their virgin buddies first time. um the guy who initially is played as like shy or quiet, like they goad him on camera. They're like, say it to like tell her, tell her what you want. And the guy says he wants to, I think this is verbatim the quote, fuck her up the butt.
I think
Yes,
that is
he is
the exact line. Yeah,
very, very clearly autistic.
He's fucking something. um but everything derails very quickly from here because Sarah's like, that's not happening. You want me to do all of you? This is how we're gonna do it. One at a time. I'll get you guys. It'll take about this long. But the weirdo virgin guy punches her in the face, like partway through her explanation, uh, knocking her onto the bed, and then there is
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
then
there's
there
just
is
yeah.
graphic
I don't think
violence
we need to
from here.
explain it. Yep, exactly.
And so
for an
then
unreasonable amount of time
It
too.
is
Like
a really long time.
it's uncomfortable. It's
you're
incredibly
waiting for the
uncomfortable.
scene to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Sarah with her face really beat up and hitchhiking to get home. There's a douchebag cabbie who fucking pokes fun at her situation like a soulless piece of shit. Um she gets home and showers, getting flashes of what happened to the guys that raped her and beat her. Um and this is the only comparison I want to make to another film that depicts this in a way that is graphic enough that people still remember. Did anybody else, when they saw this, were like, "Oh, that's where Girl with the Dragon Tattoo got the inspiration for their shower scene,"
Yes.
or was it just me?
No, 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 no.
I
It was almost the same thing.
do not
It
recall watching those movies, but I know I
okay,
did.
yeah, like they Girl with the Dragon Tattoo ripped this scene full cloth. Like no variation whatsoever, the shower
Hmm.
scene specifically. um to pile on to Sarah's situation here, she gets evicted. The nosy neighbors that were kind of like half catalyst for comedic relief up till now, turns out they're landlords. And they kick Sarah out. They saw her coming home all messed up, and that was apparently a bridge too far for them. And so she's told she has to move out. So we next see her still face not fully healed, smoking on a curb. And then we cut to Ben, who's stumbling around drinking from the flask that Sarah got him as a gift. Sarah starts searching for Ben at this point. She takes a cab to his old motel the whole year in, but he hasn't been back at this point. And so she spends a few days looking for him. I know we're at sort of like a emotional crescendo
Yeah.
to the film. But when I'm feeling down, one of the things that helps me
Don't do this.
is Kirkland
It's
brand rum.
Kirkland brand rum. It goes great in the dark and stormy.
Are you
Don't do
feeling
this.
down? Drown your feelings with Kirkland brand rum.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, man. We got to try and
You
add
gotta do
You
it.
got
flavor
we
to
we
it.
we have to. We
gotta-
have no choice.
The
Yep.
inexorable arrow of time and capitalism marches on. We have to.
Kirkland brand rum is the ennui of crushing existential dread, bringing you down. Kirkland brand rum will bring you back up. Listen to these ads, or donate on Patreon and skip them entirely. I know this is tone deaf, but
Ghoulish, even.
truly. But you know what? That might actually just be a criticism of advertising in general and capitalism as a whole. So chew on that while you listen to these ads. Yeah, I don't
Wasn't that
feel
a
great.
fun ad break?
I don't feel great about that ad pivot. It just hit at a really inopportune time. And
We
you
should
know,
have planned this out better.
Yeah, maybe the math would have allotted a bit more of a tasteful ad break.
do you know, first of all, do you know how hard it is to plot this out exactly with these plot lines and my notes? I tried. This one bit me. Next time I'll bite it. That's
Yep.
that's the best I can do. I can try and do better next time. This one just sort of flubbed on us. That being said, the entire last quarter of this film is just dark shit, dark shit, dark shit, dark shit all the way down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's worse places we could have done an ad break. There's not a lot of better places, at least in this portion of the film. So Sarah spends a few days cruising around looking for Ben. She's unsuccessful, but she does get a call at some point from Ben in whatever hotel or motel room she's in, which is interesting that he managed to get a hold of her just in general. This is not cell phone era. He had to get a landline somewhere, and she was evicted. So this is a bit of Deus Ex Machina, I guess, from the film. But they don't spend much time dwelling on it. So as soon as she finds out it's him, she just asks where he is. And then she shows up and lets herself into this dark motel room with the blinds drawn to find Ben laying in bed, twitching and convulsing and sweating. She calls him her love. She asks if he wants her help, and he says no. He just wanted to see her because she's his angel. He asks what happened to her since she's still bruised up, which she kind of dodges the question. He goes to drink more, and Sarah takes the bottle away from him. And then he starts jerking himself off underneath the sheets. And then Sarah takes over, and then gets on top of him. And this is, as far as I can tell, the only time in the film that they have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
tell each.
I think it's the only time in the film Ben even has sex, even though he's propositioning people all over the place for the
That's
first
true.
like half hour. And there's an interesting bit about that too, because every woman that he tries to bring home, he says that he does sex real good, but then he admits to Sarah that he's not that good at it.
He's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what hole it goes in.
It goes in the pee hole, right?
Yeah.
They
You're into sounding?
They confess that they love each other during this, and Sarah falls asleep on top of Ben. I thought at this point he was dead, but he does wake up and utter a wow. Um,
Wow.
but then the next morning we see Sarah sitting on the edge of the bed, and Ben looks pretty fucking passed away.
Yeah, real
Um,
dead.
yep. And then we cut back to Sarah in the Big Brother confessional, just doing a bit of exposition. She talks about why she thinks they were drawn to each other. And she ends with talking about having really loved him. And then we cut to a flashback of Ben during one of his like charming drunk moments and freeze. This was pre dental corrective efforts, right?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure this is well after.
I
Because
thought he
he
still
got
had the
his
snaggle.
no, I thought he got his teeth fixed in the 80s. I'm gonna look
Hang
it up,
on.
but
I'm just gonna
Uh,
turn the movie on real
yeah,
quick.
I was gonna
yeah.
say I'm just gonna go to the film real quick because that freeze frame, by the way, adorable freeze frame of Nick Cage, just sort of in general. Just to throw that out there. Um, what the
I'm gonna
fuck
go
was?
post dental work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys may very well
Only
be
because I'm
correct.
very sure he had the dental work for Kiss of Death. And
He
Did
definitely
he?
did, yeah.
this movie is post Kiss
Uh,
of Death.
gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. Um, I just mentioned it because specifically because it's such a solid freeze frame of him. And I always equate that. Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He did have the dental. He still has that like canine kind of popping out
He
just a
has
little
had
bit.
Yeah,
further
but
dental work done though, like after
Okay.
because
yeah,
he had the major work done in the 80s, is what I'm saying.
but go back to like
Gotcha.
Moonstruck and his two front teeth are literally like they're
Yeah,
sideways.
Yeah.
that's different. I guess it was the canine that was throwing me because it's still a little popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's charming.
It gives him
I
character.
yeah, exactly. Um, and so we come to the end of Leaving Las Vegas, and again, it's a dark film. It's well done, well written, utterly depressing. Um, and when we do these, one of the things that I like to try and do, because we're providing commentary, is I try and figure out what the message is, or if there's a message, or what I take to be the major themes of the film away. And I'm not gonna lie. I was driving home from work one day after having watched this, trying to compose my thoughts for exactly this portion of our commentary, and having a bit of an existential crisis. Because I was like, I don't know. I think it's clearly a bit of nihilism. Um, it seemed almost like two moths being drawn to a flame simultaneously.
Hmm.
Um, or just the concept of doomed romance in the first place, two people looking for something that the other one absolutely cannot provide, and deluding yourself into thinking that that'll change. Just if you try hard enough. It's depressing. It's sad. It's a very sad film.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's um again, I don't know if we said it on air or off air. But one of the things that I was saying that I think this movie is about is that like sometimes things just can't be helped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you try your hardest and it doesn't work out, and then you die, and eventually everybody forgets about you.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great thing, but also, the guy who wrote the movie committed suicide 2 weeks after they optioned it as a movie.
Yeah, like pretty
Jesus
immediately.
Christ. So, a bummer.
Oh,
Good
yes.
Major
film.
bummer.
Good
Man,
film.
we should have watched Encino Man instead. That's not a bummer of a movie.
There's
Encino Man
so
is
many.
not a bummer of a movie.
There's
Yeah,
so many things we could have
Biodome.
watched.
Could have watched the Carrot Top feature Chairman of the Board,
I
where
was
he's
gonna
a
say
surfer.
chairman of the
Where you?
board. Fuck
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So, like, Ryan, are you suggesting we do a Polly for sure podcast?
Yes. Pauly Shoreleaf.
There's all right. We got to start working on the fucking pun names for a Pauly Shore film.
Yep.
Although I would say the crowning jewel in that is Pauly Shore is Dead, which is one of my favorite experimental mockumentary. I don't even know what
Yeah,
the fuck
I
you
was
call
gonna
it.
call it a documentary, and then I remembered the movie.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Who else was in chairman of the board? Oh yeah, Larry Miller was in that shit.
Really?
He was the
Shit,
bad guy.
okay.
It honestly,
Is this gonna be like that fucking time that I remembered that the Jiminy Glick movie whips ass?
yo, Jiminy Glick was ahead of his time.
The movie's so good. David
Yeah,
Lynch is
no.
the villain.
This movie sucks.
Chairman of the Board, it totally sucks. Yeah.
Chairman of the board sucks.
But
Apparently,
Jiminy
Little
Glick
Richard
and
was in
Lala
it.
Wood is really good.
I was gonna say Pauly Shore is Dead made me think of my favorite mockumentary. Like I'd honestly put this in a separate category from mockumentary as opposed to like uh absurd buying into the bit performance art. Have you
Mm,
guys seen I'm Still Here?
that sounds really familiar.
The
There,
movie that almost destroyed Joaquin Phoenix's career.
Yes, yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Pauly
was
Shore is Dead ranks up with I'm Still Here for me.
I'm Still Here is more like I think you said a performance art piece. I think that's more that than a mockumentary, honestly.
Yeah, a really good actor put his entire
It's
fucking
a
career on the line.
it's a
For
fucking
Casey Affleck.
yes. But what the fuck's that guy?
Oh, I remember
It's
this
like
when
an
he said
Andy
he's gonna
Kaufman bit.
It is. It
when he was
100%
saying that
is.
he was going to be a rapper now. Okay, I remember
Yes,
this.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
remember the
yeah.
movie. I remember like
He got
The
everybody
stuff,
fucking-
everything around the movie, which is part of the movie technically,
Yeah, he got fucking banned from David Letterman at a certain point.
for rapping.
No, for putting his gum under fucking Letterman's desk when he came out for the interview. Like he was fully in character. And then at one of his rap shows, he dove off the stage to fight somebody being belligerent in the crowd and then violently throwing up in the restroom. It's if you haven't seen it, it's wild. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might be a great palate cleanser to leaving Las
Yeah, it
Vegas.
might be.
But yeah, that movie almost ruined Joaquin's Phoenix career.
Well, yeah, didn't he like wasn't that like right after he was like mega famous and then he was like retiring?
If I'm not mistaken, it was right after Walk the Line.
Now it was 5 years after
Holy
Walk the
shit.
Line. It was
Okay.
so it was Walk the Line, We Own the Night, Reservation Road, Two Lovers, and then I'm Still Here.
And then what was I'm Still Here came out in 2010. When was the next time he had a major picture?
Major picture. Oh, he's in a movie called The Master in 2012.
That is a major picture. That's
That
a
is
Paul
a major
Thomas
picture.
Anderson movie with
Okay.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's best role. Even though I
Yeah.
find that movie interminably boring, it's still like legitimately good. I just think it's
But
not funny.
I will say that the next movie that people remember like in their heads 2013 he did Her.
Her, yeah. A movie that I hate with all of my body.
It made some good memes.
It did make some good memes. It's just, I mean, look, it's the future. You're gonna fuck a robot. You make the robot fuckable. You don't have it a cell phone.
No,
That's all I'm saying about it.
the real message of that movie was that if you're unlovable enough, your robot will leave you.
The real lesson of that movie is actually just wait one more year and he'll put out his best movie, Inherent Vice.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Sorry, off this tangent from Pauly Shore is Dead of all fucking things.
Hey man, I could talk Walkie Joaquin all day. I love that Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Um, but yeah, no. So yes, this is a bummer of a film. It is an artful bummer. Also, Elizabeth Shue steals the fucking show here.
Should have gotten
Normally,
an Oscar.
yeah,
100%. As
yep.
a matter of fact, the Oscars this year, that year should have just been like, we're giving everything to Leaving Las Vegas because why the fuck are you still here?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I want to take a look
Oh
and
yeah,
see
I'm also pulling up what bullshit.
what horseshit won instead of, because I swear to fuck it, Braveheart.
Oh yeah,
Braveheart.
that's right. It was fucking Braveheart.
Best director
Jesus
Mel Gibson.
Christ.
Braveheart. Jeez, come on.
Well, this is before everybody realized that he
But
was racist.
it's Braveheart. Like that
Yeah,
movie's not good.
no, it's not. And historians were screaming about how historically inaccurate it was from day
Listen, I
one.
don't care that's historically inaccurate. It's not good.
The only good scene is when all those dudes in the skirts mooned the English.
Yeah, I mean that is a good scene, objectively. Best actress Susan Sarandon won for Dead Man Walking, which I do not remember. It's a Sean Penn movie.
Is that the one? So it's like a death row type deal. Like, pull this shit up.
Sense and Sensibility beat out Leaving Las Vegas. Fuck that.
Fuck that. Oh,
For
it's yeah,
best,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's about a nun who becomes friends with somebody who's on death row. It's Dead Man Walking. I think I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
Susan Sarandon's the nun.
Yeah.
oh, so that was
Yeah.
Oscar bait. Okay,
That was Oscar bait.
because this movie wasn't. This was
Hey,
not
it had
Oscar
R.
bait.
Lee Ermey in it. Would you look at that?
Huh.
There's a connection.
There's a connection.
Because this
indeed.
movie was not Oscar bait. This movie was an art film.
Yeah. And usually those don't. Hey, fucking Clancy Brown was in it. The Kurgan. Shit, I gotta watch this Dead Man Walking.
I will say this about Leaving Las Vegas. It's one of the few films that I've watched that gave me the Always Sunny vibes, where it's like, hey, I want to make a film, and somebody's like Mike Figgis was like, all right, who is it versus? And they're like, wait, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah,
Who are
who
you
are
doing
we
this
doing
against?
this against? And they're like, I don't have anybody in mind. And Figgis is like, all right, everybody then. This is making a movie versus everyone. And god damn it, he fucking won that fight.
We want no one to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So definitely the better of the two movies that we have seen with Vegas in the title.
Yeah, but I did not mind
Honeymoon in Vegas.
Honeymoon in Vegas. I
Yeah,
didn't mind
James
it.
Honeymoon
Caan
in
was
Vegas
fun with
was
it. It was
fun.
fun. You had the skydiving Elvises. You had a little James Caan.
What
had
if
Nick
this
Cage get
what if
hustled.
I'm sorry, hold on.
What if
hold
it's
on.
the same Cage?
What if it's the sequel? What if
What if
leaving
Leaving Las Vegas is
Vegas
the
is the
sequel to
sequel?
Honeymoon in Vegas?
That's why he goes back to Vegas.
So his ex-wife is fucking the Sex and the City lady?
Yeah. Holy shit.
That's so grim.
He
That's
broke it.
so dark. Now I kind of gotta watch both of those movies
Yeah,
back to
do it
back.
as Leaving Las Vegas
On
is a sequel
mushrooms.
to Honeymoon. Oh my god. No.
I'm gonna do a bunch of mushrooms. I'm gonna watch Honeymoon in Vegas and Leaving Las Vegas.
You'll have
Feel
a
like-
really good time for an hour and a half and then a really bad time for 2 hours.
Yeah. Right as I'm coming down is the end of fucking Leaving Las Vegas. And then
Yeah.
I just walk into the woods and you never see me again. Oh shit. All right. Well, this has been weird.
Yeah, it's been a weird one.
It's been weird. We tried to have fun with it, but it's a dark movie. It's an art movie, but it's a dark movie. I will say this. Myself and my wife used to do what we called Sad Movie Sunday, which was a practice we suspended when we were like, this is miserable. Where we just watched really depressing movies back to back to back on a Sunday, and we're like, why are we ruining?
You start getting into the Swedish shit. I got some good ones if you haven't seen any Swedish movies.
Wait a minute. Hang on. You want to hear something really funny?
You
So I'm
just
looking up
recently
the
watched a
next.
Swedish movie?
No, I'm looking up the movie that we have next,
Oh
and
no.
it's
Is it next again?
no,
No.
but it's starring somebody who is also in Encino Man.
Hell yeah! Is it Brendan Fraser? I don't remember Nick
No,
Cage being in any. Okay, that's disappointing. It's not Monkey Bone. I know Nick Cage isn't in Monkey Bone.
Oh, I wish.
nah. Although,
Yeah,
yeah, he could have played the shit out of the Chris Kattan role.
absolutely. Well, what do we got?
Yeah.
We got Looking Glass,
I don't
2018 trash movie.
I don't know what this is.
It was straight to DVD, is
I
what it
don't know
was.
anything about this one.
Oh, but it's another Las Vegas movie. Okay.
Oh my fucking god, we can't escape. We tried to leave Las Vegas this
Yeah,
week.
we tried to leave it.
We got stuck in paradise. Now we're stuck in Las Vegas. Uh oh God, here's the first
Oh,
line.
his tiny little glasses in this are so funny.
Ray and Maggie have lost their child to an accident. And looking for a fresh start, they purchase a motel from Ben in a small town located somewhere in the California desert on the way to Las Vegas.
Huh.
Oh, I'm just looking at some of the, like when you look up Wikipedia, like there's certain links you can look up.
Yeah.
So some of the links I see: truck driver, prostitute, BDSM,
Oh, we did
BDSM
look at this
again.
one. Most of the characters are like archetypes or just named after their job.
Yeah, gas station owner, the woman in
Vegas,
room
Vegas.
six.
Cage has been in a number of movies where they're like, we're not naming the characters. They're just
Yeah.
name their archetype. I do have to say something real quick. I looked up for the hell of it. Is Leaving Las Vegas the sequel to Honeymoon in Vegas? I just Googled it.
Did some
Because
freak
I was
say
like,
yes?
so, so, so here's the thing. I caught a couple of internet conversations where people fucked up, and it's incredibly funny. So there's a Reddit post. Today I fucked up by mistaking Leaving Las Vegas for Honeymoon in Vegas.
Oh
Oh, and
no.
somebody you're like, oh, that
So
movie was so funny.
So a while ago, I caught the last half of a Nick Cage film with Vegas in the title and thought it was pretty okay, particularly remembering the sentimental but heartwarming ending. Tonight, I decided I wanted to revisit that film. I Google Nicolas Cage Vegas and presume that the film I saw was Leaving Las Vegas. I
You
mean, come
presumed
on. How many
incorrectly.
films with Vegas in the title could he have acted in? I was expecting a sentimental film ending with Nick Cage and SJP getting married. What I experienced was a harrowing tale of alcoholism and prostitution, which ended incredibly bleakly. I am sad now.
Can you please link that in the
Oh,
chat because I want to read some of the comments.
Yeah, me too.
real quick, TLDR, expected the protagonist to live happily ever after, ended with alcoholic death throes and so yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
Ryan,
fuck up.
let's bleep out that one there.
Yeah, let's
Sorry.
it's all good. I think I'm just gonna bleep out every instance of the actual word.
That's fine. Uh um somebody else had posted, I thought Leaving Las Vegas was the sequel to Honeymoon in Vegas. I remember going to see Leaving Las Vegas and it was all razzed up for a good comedy. You know what? I wasn't laughing. In fact, I was quite depressed. I kept waiting for Nick Cage to snap out of his drunkenness and become funny. It didn't happen.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
not happen.
So
One
yeah,
of the comments is, I think I remember this one. Does Nicolas Cage drink himself to death?
Yeah, unfortunately there's not a lot of comments, but
No,
just like the
but that was the good
initial
one.
I fucked up. But oh. All right. Well, that's we've got a weird we've got a weird trash movie next.
Oh, I can't wait to get back to the trash. I bet it'll make me feel less sad.
It definitely looks like weird trash that I might enjoy.
Yeah, it seems like it's a murder mystery, and I love those.
I honestly I like the trash.
Me
I
too.
like the trash. I don't know if that says something about me
I was
personally.
born in it. I'm molded by it.
Yeah.
You were born in Jersey, of course.
Yeah.
Like, we're trash people. We like trash stuff. And this does look like pretty solid trash.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Also, as always, the Japanese movie posters go so fucking hard. It's
So fucking
crazy.
hard.
It's so crazy.
I recently rewatched The Long Goodbye with Elliot Gould, and the Japanese movie poster on that just shows him in a bunch of shots with where he has a gun out. He has a gun in a single scene of that 2.5 hour long movie.
That's sick.
You got to find the sizzle. You got to find the sizzle.
The
for
sizzle is when
poster,
he
man.
kills his friend that he helped move to Mexico after murdering his wife.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. If you've made it to this point, congratulations. I get it. This was a rough one. It might be the roughest one we have to
I
do.
think it's the roughest one, yeah.
Outside of if you're a Patreon subscriber, we did a actual documentary that's pretty bleak too, but in a more existential way than
The
this one.
Wrestler was pretty bleak too, but not
That
this
is
bleak.
true. Yeah, this one is just violent.
The Wrestler had some optimism.
Not
A
a
little
lot,
bit.
but more
Not a
than
lot,
this
but
movie.
there's some optimism.
This movie just dangled optimism like he is in front of a baby and then punched that baby, which is crazy. Also, the person dangling the keys and punching the baby, Mike Tyson. It's absurd. But like I said, we'll be back on our less intense bullshit next time. Thank you for tuning in. If you can't stand the wait between now and our next episode because you just need a palate cleanser, first of all, we have an extensive back catalog. Check it out. There's some good stuff in there. Also, you can find us and interact with us on social media. We're at cagefight underscore pod on Twitter, X, whatever. We will respond if you tweet at us.
Yeah, we don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, we'll interact. It's fine. We'll try and get up our engagement. So go ahead, let us know what your weird thoughts are. Hopefully
Only the
Nick
weird
Cage,
thoughts, though.
Yeah,
Tell me all your
hopefully-
thoughts on God.
True.
'Cause I really
Hopefully
like to
Nick
meet her.
Cage recommended, but not necessary. We will still respond. If you're a drunk uncle, you can find us on Facebook. We do more seriously have a Patreon. Since Rich is a serious one, he can give you the details on that.
Patreon.com/Nick Cage Fight. Give us $1 and you get every episode without ads. That's right. We remove them somehow with magic. We also do other things for more money because we are dancing monkeys, basically. You give us money and we do stuff for you. Ever since we watched The Wrestler, which was like a 4-hour episode, Ryan and I watched 2 wrestling matches. We watched a comedy match and we watched a death match.
I love the orange juice man.
Ryan loves the orange juice,
I love
man.
the orange juice man. He's so good.
It's because my regular job kept me from the fun wrestling Patreon episode.
Oh,
When
we're
we
gonna
do
do
it-
another one, yeah.
Yeah, when we do the next one, can you do the Pizza Man?
Oh, yeah, I saw Ryan the Pizza Man.
Oh,
Wait, are you talking about the guy who pretends to be a pizza chef or the guy who actually cuts a man with a pizza cutter?
no, I'm talking about the man who spins pizza dough the
Oh,
entire time
yeah,
he's fighting.
We did, in fact, watch that man a little bit because
I wanna
I asked
see-
about it. Because
I want to know more about that.
I also want to know more about that man. But we also watched the match where Nick Gage fucking gets a man with a pizza cutter. He gets got on the forehead.
There's a wrestler named Nick Gage.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was kind of the bit that Rich was
So
going
when
for.
we do our spin-off wrestling, it could be Nick Gage fight.
Yes,
think
Does he
so,
have
yeah.
enough?
Fight.
Does he have enough matches that we could do that?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
I don't
like
know.
a fucking...
I don't know how many you're going to want to watch because I'm not going to want to watch a lot of them.
Yeah,
Really?
these are the
That
ones that have
bad?
a bunch of glass.
Oh, okay.
This man was pronounced dead for 2 hours in a helicopter to a
That's impossible.
This man almost killed David Arquette.
Yeah, he almost killed David Arquette, but no, he was
Okay.
pronounced dead in a helicopter because they used to do the Tournament of Death in a field in Delaware.
Well, what did you expect
Oh my god,
with a
that's
name
a
like that?
Take
So-
going to Delaware.
They There was a match where they put light tubes all around the ring ropes. So he went through them and one caught him and gashed the entire side of his body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
And
mean, like
Wait,
we saw
those
some
the
gnarly
light
shit.
tubes are real?
Yeah,
Yes.
those are real
Why?
because you can
Because-
control how they break.
Clearly not. You
No,
just-
clearly not.
Well,
Yeah.
no, when you do it like that, no. But when you are actually swinging it and hitting somebody with it or breaking it yourself, it's actually very controllable.
When you hold
Yeah,
it
sure.
into a dude's forehead and keep stabbing it with him, apparently that's safe.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd call it safe. It's not like
Not gonna kill you.
worst.
Doesn't
thing
it
you
have
could do.
weird like chemical gases in it?
Yeah.
we don't talk about that.
Collagen.
I've asked that question numerous times. I've never gotten a good answer.
All right.
Well, I mean,
first
the
of all,
gas obviously leaves as soon as you smash it into a man's face.
it's powdery. There's powdery shit in that. I've
Yeah.
seen them. I've seen them break. That doesn't seem.
Listen,
You know
you'll
what?
just have to
All
watch
right.
some matches with it.
Look, wrestlers don't have insurance.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
These are all arguments against this shit.
Wrestlers don't have
all right,
insurance. It
I
doesn't
have
matter.
to be. I have to be present for the next one.
No, listen,
Because
it's
I'm
just like the
going to be
Frank Reynolds
horrified.
thing. It's like the Frank Reynolds thing. It doesn't matter. It's fake. It's
It's
okay.
fake.
It's all
Yeah.
fake.
Trash man.
I do like the trash.
Oh, he must have caught an edge.
Oh shit! Yeah, all right, cricket. All right. Back to our outro. Trying to wrangle this back under control. Thanks for sticking around. If you managed to make it through this, I get this was a less fun episode.
Harrowing, even.
True. But it is a good movie. Maybe do a sad movie Sunday, but outside of that, I don't know. Maybe just go with our descriptions. It's a little less visceral, I think, than the visual medium. But you know, we staked a claim, and that was to watch and do this for every single Nick Cage movie, and this was on the list, so it had to be done. I hope you can forgive us. Thanks, as always, for choosing to spend your time listening to us blab about Nick Cage movies, and as always, dear listeners, please remember, we appreciate you.
Bye bye, Las Vegas.